Hello, guys. Full time at the Emirates Stadium. Full time on Arsenal's season, on the Premier League season. It is all over. Um, and what a relief, frankly. I'm pretty glad to see the back of this season. And it had a final sting in the tail. Spurs came from behind to beat Leicester, consigning Arsenal to 8th place. Your reaction to that will depend on how you feel about the European UEFA, what is it? Europa Conference League. Fortunately, I don't have to know that because it's no longer our problem. I personally would have loved to finish above Spurs. It's been 5 years now, and that really is too long. I think we don't talk about it enough as Arsenal fans. We don't acknowledge it enough. You know, that's not really good enough, and we really need to put that right. That said, if you're looking for a silver lining, not being in that European competition, I think undoubtedly is one. I think it's going to be really beneficial to us in terms of, well, managing the fixtures, but also maybe in the squad building. I think it tells us, a little bit about some of the decisions we need to make as regards the composition of the squad. Anyway, to go to Arsenal's game, I wasn't there. As you can tell, probably, this isn't my house. I'm away from home at the moment. But I was so overjoyed to watch all the images and, to see the images and watch the videos of fans back in the stadium. I just thought it was fantastic to see supporters at the Emirates again. It made such a difference to watch a game through that prism, to see fans in the stands, to hear them. It changes completely your perception of events on the field. I actually think we're going to notice a change in how we analyse games because in a kind of supporter vacuum, I think perception of performances is sometimes different. And I actually think like every time a player did something that got the crowd off their feet, it's a positive contributory factor to how that player is perceived. It's really interesting. I'm not saying it's more accurate, but I do think it makes a difference, and it makes a difference to how you feel about individuals and about the team. Arsenal did the job today. They beat a pretty stubborn Brighton team who defended very well in the first half. I thought Martin Odegaard was the outstanding player in that first 45 minutes for Arsenal. What's this? Oh, don't worry about that. Sorry, I just had an email. Thought it might be relevant, but it's not. If this is the last time we see him in an Arsenal shirt, he made a good final impression. I think who knows? I guess it depends on what happens with Real Madrid. Mikel Arteta told his post-match press conference it's out of his hands. Plenty of Arsenal fans don't think they should buy Martin Odegaard. I'm not one of those. I think if we can get him, we should. I thought he was really good today. He's got qualities that other players in the squad don't have. I think he complements people like Aubameyang and Pepe, who we'll come on to in a really interesting way. I think he can partner with Smith Rowe. There's a kind of natural dovetailing between those two. If it's affordable, if it's the right price, I think we should do it. But the hero of the day is Nicola Pepe. And he got a couple of fantastic goals. One off his right foot, which is a lot better than I think he gets credit for, probably. I think his tendency to cut back inside has led to accusations that he's one-footed. Now, maybe he's worked on it to be more right-footed, but I think that's just his tendency. I think that's just his style. I think he is someone who, he wasn't always just trying to get back on his left. He just maybe was slightly guilty of over-elaboration. Because when he goes on his right, it's pretty good. You think of that cross against West Ham, great finish for the first goal today. And the second one is absolutely impudent. Really like the build-up, good tackle from Saka, good pass from Odegaard, and it's a nutmeg. You don't see many players with the audacity to attempt that, a shot that's a nutmeg from a distance. You've got to hit that ball with the side of your foot so clean to send it through a player's legs before they can realise what you're doing. Very ingenious play from Pepe, and he's so dangerous when he plays well. He has played well recently, and you know what? We were here 12 months ago, weren't we, at the end of the last season, and thinking, well, he's really ready to hit the ground running next season. And obviously everything that went on, the signing of Willian, he dropped out of the team, he lost form. We didn't really see that explosion that we were hoping for. Maybe next year, quite seriously, because The talent is there. I think now the application is there, the understanding of the role. It was really excellent today. Raises an interesting question about Bukayo Saka, I think, and where he's going to play. Last 2 games, he's gone back to the left-hand side when he's played Saka. Is that the way Mikel Arteta sees it developing? Wouldn't surprise me. I do think that some of the selections we've seen in the last few games have been with next season in mind. Look how Alexandre Lacazette's minutes have disappeared. He's done nothing wrong. Probably been better than Aubameyang over the course of the season. But Aubameyang's probably going to be the starting centre-forward next year, and so Arteta's trying to make that work. And maybe Saka on the left is the way it's going to be next year, with Aubameyang not being there, and with Pepe starting to impress on the right. Something to think about. Anyway, what else to say about the performance? I thought it was good to see Kieran Tierney back playing well. I mean, what a big loss he was during his time out. I thought Granit Xhaka was really good. Thomas Partey was good too. His shooting was a little bit more accurate today, but I thought Granit Xhaka was really good. I know he's a player that divides opinion, and some people won't ever see it with him, and that's fair enough. And I think there's still a very good case to sell Granit Xhaka. But I thought it was very good today. And I think over the course of the season, he has been one of Arsenal's most consistent players. Perhaps their most consistent. I mean, I think it's sort of between him and Bukayo Saka. But even Saka had dips. I'd have to think about that more. That was just off the top of my head. But I thought he was excellent today. And it's kind of a dilemma, I think, for Arteta, what he does with Xhaka. Xhaka, we hear will want to go. He's wanted to go in the past, but he's a very loyal man. If Arteta asked him to stay, I think he would probably consider it. And I wonder if Arteta might ask him to. I would just wonder, especially with Luiz going. I don't know. We'll see. I won't shed any tears either way. I'm glad that he's been able to finish his Arsenal career on a high, if that's the case. And we move on. Basuma was excellent for Brighton today. If he stays, he's a good character and he's, I think, a good player. So a weird season. We finished, I think, 6 points off the top 4. In the second half of the season, only Manchester City have had better results. I mean, the conclusion here is that we blew it. We blew it in that awful run in the first half of the season, and we knew it at the time. You know, once we did that, we put a ceiling on what we could achieve, and we've pushed, probably right to that ceiling, pretty much. But we put it there, so we finish 8th. More points than last season. Some signs of progress. It's very interesting, isn't it? You know, a lot of people would have sacked Arteta in November. Maybe that would have been the right decision, but I'm not sure a new manager would have achieved better results than he did in the Premier League in the second half of the campaign. I'm really not sure about that. And that, you know, raises the question of, is it the right thing to do to sack a manager? Maybe a more experienced manager would have guided us through to the Europa League final. We'll never know, but it's an interesting debate. I'm going to leave it there. Just finally, I will pop up with a few videos across the summer, but for watching this season, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really like doing these, and I do read all the comments. I do read all the interactions. I appreciate the views. I appreciate subscribing if you don't already. And I know that my camera's bad, and my mic is bad, and my face is bad. And the fact that you watch in spite of those things is a compliment that I'm very grateful for. I'll leave it there for now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. You got your Thursday nights back.